Hi there guys, and I thought I'd just do a quick kind of blog video for you guys today, just of my teaching space. Nothing too exciting, just kind of wanted to show you the kind of things, the gear and the equipment that I use for teaching and how I kind of set up my space to ensure that all the students get, pretty much the best that they can get out of every single lesson. Some things more useful than others, some things just indulgences. But I'll go through it. I'll take the camera off the stand here, and I'll kind of walk you around and just show you kind of what I've got in here. So let's just put this beautiful guitar down. Right then, guys. So here I am behind the camera. This is my little home studio, fully kitted out with Marshalls. I'll talk to you about them in a second. Plenty of amps, plenty of guitars. Let's just start over here with the with my kind of computer setup. And as you can see, this is a nice iMac. Any Mac, in my opinion, is a good move regarding kind of music, because it comes with great things like GarageBand. It comes with iMovie, all of these creative tools which allow you to record and create your own songs essentially, which is brilliant. And you can get them right up to kind of recording standard quality if you know how to use them. So that actually comes all kind of packed in, and they're built to run music things. So if you've got a big library of music, iTunes is great. And I think since upgrading from a PC, it costs a lot more money, there's no doubt about that, but I haven't looked back ever since, to be honest. And as you can see to the right of that, I've got a nice little audio interface. For those of you not aware what that really is, it's kind of like the middleman between your guitar sound or your microphone and the computer. It allows you to plug in to the computer so that the computer, let's say GarageBand, picks up the sound of your guitar. Unless you've got the amp that I've got, which I'll show you in a second, it's otherwise kind of very hard to do. So that's really cool, and it allows you to put in a guitar, a microphone, and any MIDI instrument as well, which is great. Now, to the left and right, we have speakers. Lots of speakers, over-the-top speakers. These ones are big old bassy speakers. They really pump out some air. So they're good to listen to some big tunes on. And these are a little bit more subdued. They're great for mixing. So when I'm mixing songs for Guitar Lesson Central or Brighton Guitar Academy, any kind of backing tracks, I'll probably do it on these because they're a little bit more realistic than these, but playing them through them sounds the business. It sounds great. So there's my kind of desk setup. It's pretty simple, but I've got everything there that I need to do what I need to do, really, with regards to recording music and producing music. Now, moving along a little bit, this is the amp I was talking about. I'll just zoom in on that. It's called a Fender Mustang amp. There's a couple of them. This is Fender Mustang 2. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, I think even a 5. They kind of go up in size. And these, in my opinion, are the business. Okay, I use these for all my guitar lessons. I even use them for my session work recording. As you can see, there's a mic plonked in front of it. But basically what is it? It's a digital amp that means that there's no valves in it, but it simulates the sound of various Fender various Fender amps throughout the years. So you can get a twin reverb, a deluxe, a blues deluxe kind of sound, all the way up to modern kind of high gain tones if you want some kind of heavier riffing kind of sounds. And I think, to be honest, it does them all really well. And in terms of actually practicing as a student, so when my students come in here and sit down and plug into this, I can turn it to a reasonable volume for the room so that I don't destroy my neighbour's ears, but at the same time it still delivers a lot of those kind of valvey sounds that you would expect from plugging into a kind of full-on valve amp, but without the ridiculously loudness that you would get from having this in a room like this. So I love this thing, and one of the really brilliant things about it is you can see here, I've got a USB cable coming out of that going straight into the computer, which essentially means that you don't need that audio interface I told you about a second ago. You can just plug it straight into GarageBand, it will read it as a Fender Mustang, and you're away. Simple as that. I like to also mic it up, just to get the sound of the speaker as well. But believe me, both ways sound absolutely brilliant. Okay, now we'll talk about my guitars and that in a separate blog. I'd like to kind of walk you through kind of why I love each and every one of them, but we'll talk about that another time. And you might notice the Marshalls, the Joyful Marshalls. I've got 2, 3 there, another one over there, here and there. This is about 40% of the Marshalls that were given to me. Now, essentially through my work with Brighton Guitar Academy and my kind of day-to-day running of that and teaching, Marshall got in touch and basically said, look, can we get involved? We'd like to kit out your students and your tutors with Marshall gear. And of course I said yes. They asked me to bring a van to their kind of head office in Milton Keynes, and they literally kitted me out with all this kind of X-Display, second-hand gear, which has been absolutely brilliant. I have kitted out every single one of the tutors from BGA, and I've been able to kind of just basically give out Marshall amps to some of the students who are really needing them for their practice. And it's been, you know, absolutely superb. I mean, this is a big old fake stack. You can see if I come in on that in the middle, it's just a hinge in the middle where this folds into two. Quite convincing though, eh? They kind of use it on the stage for kind of bands that are sponsored by Marshall. They have these at the back of the stage. It looks like they're playing for about 1 billion amps, but they're probably not. So that's the Marshalls, and they gave me a whole bunch of these kind of MG amps, which are perfect practice tools. Again, similar to the Fender Mustang, they're digital amps, so you can turn them right down but still get quite a decent tone out of them, and you get a good clean sound, some nice reverbs, delays on there. You even get a half decent gain sound, which can be really hard to get. So that's those, and you know, I would highly recommend those if you are kind of starting to learn and you need an amp to kind of make some noise out of. And essentially that's pretty much it for the studio. I've got a nice space. I like using these stools because you kind of are forced to sit properly. It allows you to kind of put your leg up on these kind of silver rims here and kind of sit properly with the guitar. So if you can get your hands on a stool like this, then I would highly recommend it over your average kind of, you know, chair, which you can see here as I'm just chilling out. I sit on that. And of course, for every good student, you need a music stand. It seems obvious, but you've got to get one. Just something you can put up your chord charts, anything you're printing off from this site, put it up on there so you can see it in front of you and you can learn properly. Right then, that's the studio.